Alright guys, what's up? So today we got in some deep impacts from Black Eagle arrows. I've been shooting Black Eagle arrows for about 3 or 4 years now. I'm part of their pro staff. What I've been shooting is the zombie slayers. They're a little on the lighter side of an arrow. 320 I think is what they weigh. So I wanted to go with a little heavier arrow, and this is a micro diameter arrow, which I've always wanted to try. So we're going to cut these up, put the inserts in, and we're going to see how they fly tomorrow. Alright guys, so what I do before I cut these is I take the nocks out. The reason I do that, and it's going to be kind of hard to see, but when you put this in here like this, you want it to sit flat on that edge there. If not, you're going to get a rounded edge, and even sanding it's not going to bring it out. You'll have a little bit of a warp, and then when you put the outsert or insert on, it's not going to fit right. So that's what I start with. So we'll get started with that. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got it at 27 3/4. My draw length's 27.5. I like a little bit of a longer arrow for when it sits on my rest with a broadhead. Personal preference, honestly. So we're going to get these going. Alright guys, here we go. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's really not that hard to cut arrows. I know a lot of people don't because they think it's really hard. Not at all. I have the Weston arrow cutter, and it's super easy, it's smooth, it takes all the guesswork out of it, it's got the tape on it, super easy. The big thing is when you cut these, you want to square these ends, because if not, you're going to get that wall where you're going to get the warp, and they're not going to fly as straight. I recommend getting an arrow cutter if you shoot a lot. It's a lot better than having them brought somewhere. You can customize your arrows, you can do all your own stuff, so I recommend that. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is put the Instabond on. So that'll adhere the outsert onto the arrow. So these micro diameter arrows, you put an outsert on, because there is not enough strength on the inside to put an insert, and you're not going to be able to get a broadhead or field points on. So put an outsert on, and then what'll happen is, I don't think I have one, but obviously the head screw right into that. So we're going to get these on. So you don't need much of this stuff. And what I do is I twirl it slow. Get it on. Sometimes you have a little excess on there. Just wipe that off real quick. Push it down on the table, make sure it's good. that's it, guys. Pretty simple. Alright, so I'm going to make this somewhat quick. We got some more Black Eagle arrows in. We got the Spartans and we got the Renegades. I already put these inserts in for the video, just make it a little quicker. I cut them up, but I wanted to go over the arrows that we have from Black Eagle. So I've been shooting for the last few years the Zombie Slayers. Good arrow, but it's really light, extremely light arrow. And then you've got the Renegade, the Spartan, and the Deep Impact. So there's different grades to these, and I also weighed them as well. So what we've got is the Zombie Slayer coming in at 354 grains, and that's with the 100 grain insert. And then what we've got is the Renegade, which is next at 454. We've got the Spartans at 410. And we've got the X Impact. Now with the X Impact, normally it's 477, but what I did was I put a post in because I just wanted to see if I could get it over 500, and we ended up getting it over 500. It's at 506. So I'm going to shoot one with the post, one without. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how each of these shoot with what I'm using, which is the Prime Nexus 2. The Prime Nexus 4, 70 pounds, 27.5 inch draw length. Like I said, I know where the Zombie Slayers are hitting, but I kind of want to go and see, try all three of these and see where they hit. And then we're gonna see which ones we like better, which ones penetrate better, which ones fly further, the whole kit and caboodle. We're gonna try and narrow them down for you guys. I've been shooting Black Eagle for 5 years now. Amazing company. Super fast with getting the arrows out to you. I don't think I've ever gotten anything past 3 days. It's always within 3 days. Very affordable, from beginner arrows to the highest level arrow you can get. I do kind of want to go over the inserts, the outserts, and the half outs. You saw me earlier in the video put these Deep Impacts together. These have the outserts because the arrow's so thin, goes on the outside. You've got your regular inserts on the Zombie Slayers. Same with the Spartans. And then you've got the half out, which, let's see if you can see there. So right there, it's a half out. So it's not, you can see the difference there. So it's not totally like this one. And it's not totally like the whole outsert. It's kind of a mix of both. My honest opinion right now, just kind of observing the grains, is I think this Spartan's going to be the best arrow for me personally. Very good reviews on this. So we're going to shoot these tomorrow and see where we land. Alright, so as you can see, the lightest arrow, which we're sighted into, the Zombie Slayer. We've got the Spartan, we've got the Renegade, and the Deep Impact. Heaviest, lightest, and the two in between. And this is heavier than the Spartan, so you can see the effect from what the weight gives us. We're gonna move out, and I got a feeling that it's gonna be pretty drastic. That's why I've got the block on the bottom and what we're shooting at on the top. So we're gonna work out to 80 and see what we've got. All right, we're gonna go for 30. Alright guys, so this one's a little more drastic, and this is only at 30 yards. Alright guys, so you see, we've got the Zombie Slayer, we've got the Spartan here, Renegade, Deep Impact, and this is only at 30. So I got a feeling we get out to 40, 50, 60. I mean, by the time I get to 80, those two heavier arrows are just going to drop. So, my thought on this whole process right now is the Zombie Slayer, what I'm shooting now, is a little too light for me. So I think I'm going to end up going with the Spartans. A little bit of a heavier arrow, but I can still stay within that range of the lighter arrow. So I think that's where we're headed, but we're gonna keep shooting. And all right guys, we're about to do 40. Alright, so this one's going to be very noticeable. I can already see from here. Alright, so like we've had with all of them, you've got the Deep Impact on the bottom, Renegade, Spartan, Zombie Slayer. It is super windy out, so my left to right's not great, but you could see how far that Deep Impact's dropped. It's about 500 grains, and then you've got the Zombie Slayer, which is about 350. So you could see the difference. What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump this right out to 70, and see if that the Deep Impact even hits the target. So we're gonna jump out to 70 and then probably call it quits. All right, guys. So we're gonna shoot 70 and probably call it quits. I'm just curious. We skipped 50, 60. Probably not even gonna shoot out to 80 because I really don't want to lose arrows. And I say lose arrows because those Deep Impacts and those Renegades are gonna just hit right before that target. So we're gonna shoot 70 and hopefully we don't lose any arrows. see what we got. So I'm pretty sure that deep impact hit right before the target. It is super windy out here, so it's really hard to get steady, and I've only been shooting, I think I've only shot 3 times with that Nexus 4 so far, but we were shooting decent the other day at 70 with the zombie slayers, so I guess we'll see what we've got today. But just looking now, boy, I don't even know if the Renegade hit the hit the target. Alright guys, so we just shot 70. We're down here, and if you could see that, you've got the zombie slayer in the middle, you've got the Spartan right below it, and down below, just missed the target, is the Renegade, and the deep impact went in the ground. So if I was shooting a tall target in a controlled environment, you're talking about probably 3 feet below where that lighter arrow hit. So that's how much of a difference that heavier arrow makes. Depending on your sight and your bow setup and all that, you're not going to get as much range with those heavier arrows. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with the Spartans, because it's kind of a mix in between a lighter and a heavier arrow. They're pretty close. They're within 6 inches, so it'll be nice because I can set a sight tape just for my zombie slayers, and I can set a sight tape just for those Spartans, which will be nice because I won't have to change the housing of the sight itself. I might even be able to get those Renegades a separate sight tape. Not 100% sure on that. I'm going to have to do a little more messing around with those. But those deep impacts, they're a micro diameter, they're heavy. I'm not a huge fan of those. Really nice arrow, and if you're looking to go and use a heavy arrow, that's the arrow you want, but I'm not sold on the heavy arrow, that heavy of an arrow just yet. Not my style. Everyone's got their own style, but so yeah, we might shoot these a little further, 80 to 100, but for right now I think that concludes what we were looking for. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Any questions, just hit us up on social media, like and subscribe to the page, and hopefully we can get some more of these videos out for you guys. So thanks for watching.